All right, people. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Trump's appointments here. Some of the people he's appointed to specific, certain positions in his administration. So he's made a lot of good picks that I think are solid picks. Jeff Sessions is one of them. I like Ben Carson. I like some of the people he's put into power. Now, a lot of people are a little disturbed by people like Steve Mnuchin because he's a Goldman Sachs guy. People when people hear Goldman Sachs or Exxon Mobil, oh my God, people start freaking out. Um, but I just want to say, just because you have a corrupt business or a corrupt, enterprise, like, Planned Parenthood, conservatives do not like Planned Parenthood because they carry out abortions and, they sell baby parts and shit like that. And they do a lot of, kind of sick things. And that was seen in those videos, but they also do a lot of legitimate work with, cancers and, adoptions and whatever the fuck shit they do. They do a lot of legitimate work, other than abortions. Just like Goldman Sachs or Bank of America, they do a lot of, again, not all parts of that business are corrupt. It's a huge corporation, so there is legitimate business being done within those companies. It's not like these people who are executives of these companies. It's not like everyone is a bad person. So, just because people hear Mnuchin's part of Goldman Sachs does not mean it's a bad thing. These people are all smart. He's obviously a very smart person. Could he be corrupt? I don't know. Let's say he is corrupt. I believe Trump's going to tell him what to do, though. He's obviously a very smart person. He's been in key positions in Goldman Sachs, so he knows a lot of shit. So, sometimes you would like to pick somebody who's very smart and knowledgeable about the position, but is also going to carry out what you want to be done, but just has a very good understanding of how the system works. And if they don't do what you want and shit like that, then you say bye. So he's made some picks like that. It's Rex Tillerson, who, again, just because he worked for ExxonMobil, it doesn't mean you're a bad guy. Um, and I think he looks much better than some of these other executives, who are corrupt. But just because you work for a big company or are in a top position in a big company doesn't mean you are um, a bad person or corrupt. And I see the media too. Whenever Trump appoints somebody with political experience, they say, "Oh, look, he said he wanted to drain the swamp, and now he's not because he's promoting somebody who's in the system." And the media is so fucking dumb. What he means by drain the swamp is drain the corrupt politicians. Just because you are a politician does not mean you are, bad. There's a lot of good politicians out there who have been in office, like Ron Paul. So just because you're a politician does not mean you're a bad person. And then when he picks somebody uh, who's hasn't had any political experience, they go, "Oh, he picked somebody with no experience." Well, exactly. I mean, that's the point. We want to put a lot of people in there who are not politicians, who haven't been bought and paid for. We want to put in a lot of people who've actually succeeded in the private market and have actually created jobs and made money for themselves. So it's impossible to win with the media. So they say, "Oh, look, that guy has no political experience," or "That guy's a billionaire. He's promoted. He's appointed billionaires." Good. That's a good fucking thing. Yes, there are many billionaires who have made their money unjustly and are corrupt people and have gotten breaks from the government. But not everybody who has a great idea and makes money and makes a lot of money is a bad person. Like, so it's very it's very, like Bernie Sanders just throws out that term. You always hear him say that the billionaires, Trump's appointed billionaires. So what? They're successful people. They've created jobs. They've made money, and they're obviously fucking geniuses to make that much money. Just because somebody makes a lot of money does not mean they're a bad person. All you hear, "Oh, the 1%, the 1%, the 1%." What do you mean the 1%? The 1% is made up of hundreds of thousands of people. You can't tell me that everybody in the 1% has made their money unjustly. Let's say there's somebody who has, who owns like a restaurant chain of 30, 40 restaurants in like the Midwest or something like that. They're not a bad person because they made a successful restaurant and came up with a good idea. It's fucking dumb. I mean, there's a lot of people who are very successful businessmen who have gotten their money in the right way and haven't, been corrupt, like Donald Trump. So it's very dumb of the media to say, "Oh, look at that! He appointed a billionaire." It's like you just can't win with it. So I'm happy with a lot of his picks. I'm not happy, although it's a little one, with he appointed his press secretary Spicer. I wish he would have picked Guilfoyle from Fox or Perino, because I see this old ass guy. He's like 6 years old. First off, he didn't even really like Trump that much. He's a big fat and sweaty guy. It just doesn't look good on TV when he's talking. Should have picked a nice, beautiful woman like Guilford, or who's very knowledgeable, Trump supporter, good woman, well spoken, knowledgeable. Should have picked her instead of this guy, or should have picked Perino instead of this guy. So I wasn't happy with that. But I mean, most picks I am happy with. I mean, not everything's going to be perfect. Not everything's going to be what you want. But before you bash him and say, "Oh, look at that! He's picked a Goldman Sachs guy, or he's picked an Exxon Mobil guy, or he's picked this person or that person," just wait until see what he does. He might be just picking these people again because they're knowledgeable and they have a knowledge of the situation. But he's going to tell them, "Hey, you got to do this, or else you're out." So I'm excited to see what Trump will bring to the table with his administration. He's going to be inaugurated pretty soon here, so very exciting to see. I mean, he's already done positive things too. He's brought back carrier jobs with Carrier. Many people have said they're going to now invest in the United States because of Donald Trump, the person from Japan who owns the big fucking banks that said he's going to invest. So I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, we're already seeing more positive results, and he's not even president yet. I mean, he's already doing a really good job. I mean, it's hard to say, look at something he's done and say, "Oh, he's done a bad job," because he has. Pretty much everything he's done is positive. Like I said, the Carrier deal and other shit too. So I'm very happy with Trump. Um, he's made good appointments. I cannot complain, and I think it's going to be a good administration. Now, if he does something that's anti-democratic, or not with a conservative libertarian mindset, then I will criticize him. And I have criticized him in the past, but we'll see what happens. I'm excited to see, and I think he will carry out his agenda very well, and I think he's going to make America great again. So there you go, people.